Namanda, 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 Namanda.
No more regrets. No more regrets. No more regrets.
Good morning. Welcome to today's family service. My name is Doug Dorr, and I'll be the chairperson today. We will begin this morning's service with Sambujo on pages 24 and 25. Now we will have sutra chanting, Ju Ni Rai, on page 67. Please stand for the Gatha Nembutsu 1, which is on page 99 in the White Book, and then please remain standing for the reading of the Golden Chain 1, which will be on page 15 in the Purple Book. But first, Nembutsu 1, page 99, White Book.
Purple Book.
Page 15, Golden Chain number 1. All together, please. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. Please be seated.
Now, Reverend Fujimoto will share a Dharma message with us.
Good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Okay. So last week we had our Ho-Onko service, and this was considered the most important service in our tradition, our Jodo Shinshu Buddhist tradition. And so we had a special service, special luncheon afterwards. We had guest speakers, 3 young ministers from the IMOP program. and they shared some of their experience and some of their understanding of Buddhism. And so it was nice to have them, nice to host them. And afterwards, we had them sitting here in kind of like a panel grilling, panel discussion. So we were able to ask them a bunch of questions and hear their perspective and their experience. So it was fun. And afterwards, we had a vegetarian lunch provided by the BWA, and so that's always a special thing. So, but because we had the three speakers, their time was limited, and so we didn't really get to delve into Ho Onko and what this means, and I didn't have a chance to talk about it. So I thought today I would take this opportunity to share my thoughts on Ho Onko. And sometimes I remember growing up, I didn't really understand which one is Ho Onko. We come and there are different services and special ones, generally one each month, but which one is Ho Onko? Is that the one with the hot dogs after, or is that the one with bingo? And so you kind of wonder which service was that. But it is important, our Shinran Shonin's memorial service. So because of this, it's very important, and we're able to honor and appreciate the life and the teachings of our founder, Shinran Shonin. So this gives us an opportunity to explore what our teachings are. What is our practice? What is this Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, that we're saying every time we come to the temple? Why are these teachings significant? And why should we give them priority in our lives? We work hard, we contribute to the temple, we come in and do things for the temple, serving food, contributing money, effort outside, cooking chicken, endlessly cooking chicken, and all these things. Why do we do all these things? This place must be important to us. So let me start with a quote. Please join me in Gassho. The Nembutsu, for its practitioners, is not a practice or a good act. Since it is not performed out of one's own designs, it is not a practice. Since it is not good done through one's own calculation, it is not a good act. Because it arises wholly from other power and is free of self-power. For the practicer, it is not a practice or a good act. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, thank you. So these are words from Shinran Shonin, and in this quote, it's saying the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, it's not a practice, not a good act. So what the heck does that mean? We come here and we're asked to do this all the time, and he says, no, it's not. So this is kind of a, what do you call it? A conundrum? Conundrum? Yeah, how do we make sense of this? Okay, so not saying the Nembutsu, not a practice, not a good act. So why is it so important? Why do we do this? So Shinran is saying that it's not our own design that we're saying the Nembutsu. I didn't think of it. I didn't come to this conclusion. It's being provided, okay? So it's not our own calculation that this is good for me, so I'll do it, okay? So maybe we can compare it to a visit to the doctor, okay? We all have different kind of problems or difficulties, and we want to be careful in our lives and how we live our lives, what do we eat and drink and all these kind of things. So if we compare it, maybe we go to the doctor's office and encouraged to maybe lose a little bit of weight, lose a few pounds, or maybe we know that before we get there. Get more exercise, do this regularly. They might check your diabetes or your blood pressure, cholesterol count, or maybe there's some things more serious, with your bones or your organs and things that we have to take care of. So we're checking all these things. We're listening to their medical opinion, right? And so we weigh all this information, right? So we weigh the consequences. I want to be healthy, okay? We check this balance sheet. I remember running into a high school friend, and he was a big guy. He was, lineman on the football team and all league kind of thing, really big guy. And so he's gained even more weight eating pizza and drinking beer, and then he had a heart attack, so he's getting better. But how you doing, Lee? How you doing? And he said, yeah, I felt like I was letting my family down, and feeling like this, he's eating better and dropping some weight and walking regularly, and put in a good effort for about 6 months, and then he went back to eating pizza and beer, And so we do these things, how we fluctuate good days and bad days, and sometimes we make a huge effort to get control of our bodies and our health and things like this. So we weigh this out. I don't want to be a burden to my family or to my wife. You consider what is good and bad. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to die. So we make changes or we don't, right? So this is calculation, okay? So Shinran is saying when we recite the Nembutsu, it's not this kind of calculation, okay? This is like, calculation is like saying, what's in it for me, right? What's in it for me? And so Buddhist practice, that's greed, right? So Buddhist practice is separate from greed. So not what's in it for me, but then how does it work? What do we do? Or on the other hand, maybe we do calculate. Maybe we think sounds like they're saying we say Namo Amida Butsu and we go to the Pure Land when we die. That's a good thing, so I'll do it, right? That's calculating, right? But Shinran is saying that's not what this practice is about. People do that. A lot of people, some of our members do that. They come and they assume this is the benefit, to go to the Pure Land when we die. But Shinran clearly said that's not it. It's not a good practice. It's not a good act, okay? So when we do this calculation, it's something that's self-serving, but it shouldn't be self-serving. It shouldn't be something that we get out of calculation. And this is difficult. This is what makes our practice so difficult, because it goes against everything we've ever learned, everything we've ever done. You go to school, make a good effort, try your best, graduate at the top of your class or as close as you can, right? And we're trying. Go play sports, make your best effort, try. Make the team. Okay, you got your position, try. Your coach is watching, parents are watching, right? And so everything is calculation. So when we come here, we're trying to step away from that. And how do we do that? It's completely foreign to us. This is why it's so hard, okay? So Shinran is saying the Nembutsu comes from beyond ourselves, from Amida, from this infinite causes and conditions that swirl, okay? So it's separate from us, separate from our own needs, our beliefs, our hopes, our designs, our calculations, completely separate from human effort, okay? So this separates the Nembutsu completely from what we try to do, okay? So I remember there was one student, and she was learning about this aspect of the Nembutsu teachings and had gone through a lot of classes, and finally it came to her what is being said. And she asked her teacher, she's so surprised. She goes, why doesn't anybody know about this, right? We don't know about this. Why doesn't? So this is not just interesting. It's not just different. It's radical. It's mind-blowing, okay? Nobody has done this. There's no other. You look at the Christian teachings, that's not there. You look at the other Buddhist teachings, and that's not there, okay? Completely separate. Everyone else is telling us, try to do this, read that. Concentrate. So Shinran Shonin's contribution to Buddhism and to world thought is that he brought this Nembutsu beyond the usual and normal perspective that is self-serving in nature. And he moved it to a perspective beyond calculation, beyond personal benefit. Okay? So this is why the Nembutsu is not a good practice, not a good act. This is a huge development for him to come to this type of conclusion, completely separate from what we usually try to do. Okay? Not only in Buddhism, all religions. Look for it anywhere. It's not there. Okay? So we are provided this new approach to religion, a new approach to Buddhism, a new approach to life. So this is why we're listening to this Nembutsu teachings of Shinran Shonin. And this is what we should recognize and consider when we come, especially to the Honko service. But this is what we're thinking about every single week. Every time we say Namo Amida Butsu, every service, every memorial, every funeral, your friends, your families, every time. This is what we are connecting to, a teaching beyond our own calculation. Okay? So, as we hear and learn about this Nembutsu, and this starts to percolate, and it doesn't kind of making sense of it, but still, when we try to make sense of it, we're still kind of clinging, still calculating, because it's hard to get away from that. But once we do, even in bits and pieces and glimpses, we recognize just how special this is that we have here. Okay? And gradually we learn to appreciate this different approach. And hopefully we learn that it comes to make sense to us here, and then we learn how to articulate it, okay? So that we and our families don't just walk away from something so special. We just had a board meeting, and we're considering raising our dues, and maybe we need to offer more. What can we offer, right? What are the incentives we can offer our families? How are the kids going to come? How are young ones going to come if we don't offer them more, more than donuts after service or something, right? What are we offering? And then we are offering is like giving them, feeding their greed and feeding their calculation again, right? And so we're sucking them back into this vacuum that we've been held here all our lives. We're trying to break out of this vacuum, and we stuff everybody back into this same vacuum. So it doesn't work that way, okay? This is special. We need to recognize what is special so we can first recognize it, articulate it, share it with others. Okay. So Shinran Shonin, in one of his final writings, he wrote this. Please listen. Like the high waves that constantly flow back and forth in the bay of Waka, I too will go back and forth to this world to spread the compassion of Amida. When you are alone and find happiness, think that there are two. And then two of you find happiness. And then you think that there are three. The other is indeed Shinran, me. Okay? So he's with us all the time. We're making this journey from our relative world to the infinite world. And we go back and forth. We have to go back and forth. Okay? Like the waves of Waka. Like the waves of San Francisco Bay. Okay? So he said this. So he passed away. Honko, his death memorial, Honko time, his teachings, his words come back to us, okay? And together with him, we recognize, acknowledge this infinite that we're all a part of. Essentially, our identity of little me is expanded and grows, and this infinite reality is me. Okay? We don't stay there. We go back and forth, connecting to the infinite and coming back to little me, connecting to the infinite, back to little me, and we handle all our things that we need to take care of, all our responsibilities, all our connections, and we do this. But we recognize that we are part of this greater reality. This is the real me, not this. This is temporary, superficial. This dissolves once my life is over, but we're part of this infinite, okay? So he comes back, we come back. So when I think of this, my father, who passed away 65 years ago, he comes back to me, just like Shindan comes back. My grandparents come back, right? Shindan Shonin comes back. My mother, who is still alive, she comes, okay? Whether you're dead or alive, you are coming back, recognizing, we are able to recognize through all of them our connection to this infinite reality. Amida, Amida. We become Amida. Okay. So this is kind of the process. So this small self, right? This is our usual small self that we see in the mirror every morning. We grow up and we have our fears, we have our doubts, we have our self-concern, and all of this is displaced. Okay? This interwoven net of connections, past, present, and future. This world of oneness, we identify with this. And this is the path of all the Buddhist schools, but Shindan's path is to recognize our limitations and recognize how we're always trying to calculate and figure things out, and that's not part of the solution, okay? So through this Nembutsu, we clarify our sense of self and our sense of life, okay? And once we do that, then we share it with others, the young ones upstairs, people we meet, inviting new ones, welcoming new ones, and we learn to share this temple. We don't just come here because it's a nice place and there's lots of nice people here, we have good food here. All of this is true and it makes it very comfortable. But if that's it, that's not what Shinnan's saying, okay? There's more to the teachings than that. So this is why we want to gather and recognize Shinran Shonin and Ho Onko service, and so we become all of this connection. Okay. So please join me in Gassho one last time. The Nembutsu for its practitioners is not a practice or a good act. Since it is not performed out of one's own designs, it is not a practice. Since it is not good done through one's own calculation, it is not a good act, because it arises wholly from other power and is free of self-power. For the practitioner, it is not a practice or a good act. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your message. That was really very helpful. Now, when I think of Hoonko, I won't think, now wait, is that the one after which we have hot dogs, or is that the one after which we have vegetarian meal? But yeah, that was so helpful, such a revelation, not a practice, not a good act. Thank you. Please stand for the Gatha in the White Book, May Peace Prevail, which is on page 89 and 90 in the White Book.
be seated.
Thank you to those who helped with all the altar preparations and with the service. Of course, to Reverend Dennis, also to Brian for helping and doing so much to make the YouTube video possible, for the altar flowers, Jackie, Dorothy, and Lenny, and of course, our organist Lenny, and also for those who may have brought refreshments and helped with, the setup. Are there any newcomers or visitors? I don't think so. Announcements. Next Sunday, December 1st, will be the Shotsuki monthly memorial service, and there'll also be an Abwa meeting right after the service. That's next Sunday, December 1st. On Sunday, December 8th, that will be our Bodhi Day service and a birthday Sunday. And we'll also have the annual temple general meeting after the service. Just in case you can't remember or you haven't written all this down, the dates and times for all these services and all the other services are in the Upaya, the monthly Upaya, and also you can go to the BTOA website to check these out. Are there any other announcements? Reminders, announcements? Sensei, did you want to do the Ask Reverend Dennis session today?
Sure.
Okay. Generally on the fourth Sunday of each month, we have an Ask Reverend Dennis session, and people send in questions or sometimes just raise their hands, and so kind of an informal and comfortable way to share aspects of the Dharma. And so I was sent in one question, very interesting, asking about the 6 realms. Okay, sometimes you'll read about the 6 realms of existence, and one part of the question is, what is the process to get there? So what are these 6 realms? And 6 realms of existence, there's a hell, hungry ghosts, beasts, fighting demons, human beings, and heavenly beings. Okay, so these are different levels of existence, and we can kind of think we have our own ideas of what hell is, and hungry ghosts is kind of like our desires playing out, right? So a lot of these things we can come to recognize. Okay, let's see. Hell is kind of a consequences of how we live our lives, our karmic life, depending on what we do, what we go through thereafter. Okay, so to come to an enlightened life. So unenlightened is basically wandering through these various stages of these 6 realms. Okay, so unenlightened life, like we live, we're touching these 6 realms. Okay, we don't get there later when we die. We don't get there after we are born again as a worm or a bird or something like that. No, we go through these every day. Okay, these are when we suffer. Okay, something causes in our life some anguish. Okay, or pain. This is hell. Okay, we feel this hell. Maybe you fall down and break your leg. You can't get up. Oh, that moment is a moment of hell. Okay, and when we have these unquenchable desires, we really want to have something, whether it could be anything, right? desires. Maybe we wanted to get this promotion, but it was passed up, and we thought we had it, but we didn't. And so this is our hungry ghost part of us. We were attached to it before we even had something, and so we suffer because of that, okay? And as beasts, right, we try to live properly and morally and caring for each other, but we don't always do that. Sometimes our anger rises up and we act more like animals than like human beings, okay? And so sometimes this gets driven to wanting to hurt somebody, fight somebody, and this is our fighting demons. We get this fighting spirit that we come to on occasion, not too often, hopefully, okay? And when we can get along a little bit better, you know, we're asked to sit down nicely, and we come to service and sit nicely and chant when we're asked to chant, and doing things properly and comfortably, you know, then we are acting like human beings. And so this is the human realm. And so if we do something maybe extraordinary, beyond ourselves, maybe we help someone else go, maybe we're the serving the food for the day, so we go above and beyond to make our guests comfortable, okay? And these are like we're acting as though we're heavenly beings. So these are 6 realms of existence, and we go through this again and again and again. Sometimes we're at one realm, we explode into a different realm, and it goes back and forth. So it's not like we accomplish and get to this realm, you know, I'm a hellish, foolish person, and if I practice some more, I'll get to this realm, and it's not like that, right? So kind of like what we were talking about earlier with Shinran Shonin, saying the Nemputsu. It's not practice, not trying to get somewhere, but we recognize as we reflect upon our lives, we're doing all these things, right? And it's not so easy. You know, we're trying to be heavenly beings when we're getting our kids up and getting them dressed, getting them ready so we're not going to be late. Oh, their homework is done. All these things, we're caring and concerned, okay? But sometimes they don't listen too well. So why don't you listen? And we explode, right? And so we go back into these other realms, okay? And it happens. We all know this happens. So this is the 6 realms, but more than psychological states or physical states, they are experiences, parts of reality that we go through, okay? And as we go through this is like wandering through our life, unenlightened life, okay? So to become an enlightened being is to step beyond the 6 realms. Sometimes you find the story that human life is like a inchworm on the edge of a barrel, and he's working so hard to get moving, and he's going around this barrel and just going around in a circle, and there's no real accomplishment. He's not getting anywhere because he's not becoming an enlightened being. He's just working so hard to get to the next inch. And this is how we live our lives. This is what unenlightened life is portrayed as. So to get beyond that is to become awakened, have an awakened life. So it's kind of like an encouragement to recognize this limited aspect of our lives, how we go back and forth, and it's kind of frustrating and kind of fruitless, but this is what we do. And when that becomes very clear, then we want something more, something enlightened, and something away from this constant back and forth that does not get us anywhere, okay? So something like that. And another question that was asked was the significance of the Buddha's crown, okay? So we look at the image of the Buddha or picture of the Buddha. We'll see you. Come back again. All right, bye. So he has this hair, curly hair, right? I used to have an afro. Did you know that? Yeah, I used to have curly hair. Anyway, the Buddha has said that, when he first cut his hair and left the temple, it kind of came into these snail-like curls all over his head, and it doesn't get longer. It stays short like that, and he has kind of a prominent bun on here that's like a symbol of enlightenment. The color, when you see a image of the Buddha and his hair, oftentimes is dark blue or blue kind of thing, and there's just symbolic meanings of his enlightened state. Okay, these kind of questions are kind of like unimportant, To talk about myself, I wear regularly, I wear my underwear inside out. Okay, do you know why? You don't know why, and it really doesn't matter, and it won't benefit you at all. It doesn't benefit me at all, and that's what these kind of questions are. There's no benefit. You could read about it, find out more about it. Who cares? He has hair, it changes, it's an enlightened state. You don't know any more about Buddhism or about enlightenment if you study about his hair. So don't ask those kind of questions. Okay. Okay. Any other questions today? Good. We are done. Okay. Please join me in Gassho, and we'll conclude. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, thank you. So if you do have questions, easiest to email them to me, and then I'll have a list to look at each month when we come to this session. And I try to make it fun as well as learning a little bit. And yeah, I appreciate the questions that do come in. So thank you.
Thank you again, Sensei, for your your humorous and wonderful explanations and answering those questions. Thanks to everyone for coming and attending this morning's service. Please come forward and offer incense, and then please join us in the social hall afterwards.